Kate Upton sparks concern with cryptic social media post about dangerous situation involving child. Kate Upton, the 32-year-old model known for gracing the cover of Sports Illustrated in her acting roles in movies like The Other Woman, has caused widespread concern after sharing a cryptic Instagram story that raises serious questions about a dangerous situation. In the post, Upton describes a scenario involving a drunk and high father who recently completed rehab and his 10-year-old daughter. While the situation is vague, it has sparked a flurry of responses from her followers, some worried for the child's safety, while others are trying to interpret the meaning of the story. The post also raised concerns about whether the situation described was a real event, a hypothetical, or something from a past experience. The social media post. On Friday, Upton began her Instagram story with a seemingly simple plea for advice, truly asking lawyers/judges/advocates/law enforcement/parents. This phrase immediately caught the attention of her followers, who were unsure whether Upton was sharing a personal experience or seeking general input on a specific legal matter. As the post continued, Upton detailed a chilling and distressing scenario involving a father and his child. She wrote that the father, who has recently completed a rehab program, is traveling alone with his 10-year-old daughter. During the journey, the father becomes intoxicated, allegedly consuming alcohol and drugs, including pills. Upton went on to explain that, in a concerning twist, the father threatens the taxi driver, saying that he has a gun with him and will shoot the driver if he refuses to drop them off on the highway at midnight. The implication is that the father intends to put both himself and his daughter in harm's way, forcing the child into a vulnerable and unsafe situation. Upton concluded the post with a haunting set of questions. Is this an emergency? A crime? Would you be scared for your child? Her cryptic tone left followers searching for answers, speculating about the nature of the incident, and wondering if the model was recounting a past experience or simply posing a theoretical scenario. Thankfully, the taxi driver refused, Upton added, highlighting that the driver declined to comply with the father's demands. He would rather be shot than drop the little girl off on the highway. This detail reassured some followers, who felt relieved to know that at least the child wasn't abandoned or subjected to further risk. However, many questioned the broader implications of the situation and whether it had any connection to a real-life event. Reactions from fans and followers. Since sharing the Instagram story, Upton has remained silent about the post's intent. Her followers have been left in the dark about whether this situation was purely hypothetical, a part of a larger advocacy message, or an actual event that Upton had witnessed or been involved in. Fans and commenters have flooded the post with their feedback, providing their thoughts on what they would do in such a situation. Some expressed deep concern for the child, commenting that such behavior from a parent, especially a parent who has recently undergone rehab, was highly troubling. Others focused on the safety of the taxi driver, who appeared to have made a difficult but morally upright choice by refusing to comply with the father's demands. Many also questioned the legal ramifications of the scenario, with some pointing out that if this was indeed an actual event, the father's actions could be considered both a crime and an emergency situation requiring immediate intervention. There were also some who wondered whether Upton had personal experience with such a distressing situation. The model has not provided any further context for her post, leaving her audience to speculate about the details. Her silence on the matter has only intensified the curiosity surrounding her message, with many hoping for clarification. Upton's family life and possible connection to the post? One significant detail that added to the intrigue of Upton's social media post was the mention of a 10-year-old daughter in the scenario. Upton, who is married to MLB star Justin Verlander, has a 6-year-old daughter named Genevieve. While Genevieve's age does not align with the 10-year-old child mentioned in the story, some fans have wondered whether the model was discussing a situation involving another family member or a child she knows personally. However, Upton's representative has not yet responded to inquiries about whether this was a real-life experience or a fictional scenario. The timing of the post also raised questions. Upton has long been an advocate for mental health and addiction recovery, often speaking out about her own experiences and supporting various charitable causes. While the post didn't explicitly reference addiction or recovery, some have speculated that Upton may have been using this scenario as a way to raise awareness about the challenges facing individuals recovering from substance abuse, particularly in terms of how their behavior can affect their children and others around them. Legal and social implications of the post. Upton's post also raised broader concerns about the intersection of addiction, parenting, and legal accountability. The father in her story, having recently come out of rehab, is depicted as endangering both his own life and that of his child. The scenario touches on the complexities of post-rehabilitation care and the responsibilities of individuals recovering from addiction, especially when it comes to parenting and child safety. In real life, a situation like the one Upton described could have serious legal consequences. A parent threatening violence, particularly with a weapon, could face charges of child endangerment, assault, and possibly other criminal offenses. Authorities would likely investigate such an incident to ensure the safety of the child, with intervention from social services and law enforcement being a key part of the process. Furthermore, Upton's post may have indirectly raised awareness about the ongoing need for more robust systems of support for families dealing with substance abuse. Advocates for addiction recovery and child welfare have long pointed out the need for more comprehensive mental health care and resources for parents in recovery, particularly those who are at risk of relapsing or who have already experienced the trauma of addiction. Possible next steps for Upton. It remains to be seen whether Kate Upton will provide further clarification on her Instagram story. Some have speculated that Upton may be planning to address the issue in a larger platform, such as an interview or a public campaign focusing on addiction recovery and child protection. Others believe the post could have been a way to gauge public opinion on what constitutes an emergency or a crime in such complex, high-risk situations. For now, Upton's followers are left with more questions than answers. The mystery of the post continues to linger, and many are hoping that the model will eventually provide the context needed to fully understand the scenario she shared. Whether this was a call for advice, a hypothetical scenario, or a reflection on a real-life experience, one thing is clear: the well-being of children and the responsibility of parents to provide a safe and stable environment remains a pressing issue. The ongoing conversation around mental health and addiction. This post also highlights the larger conversation surrounding mental health and addiction, particularly in the context of parenting. While Upton's specific message remains unclear, the scenario she described resonates with many who have witnessed or been affected by similar issues. The responsibility to provide a safe environment for children and the challenges faced by those recovering from substance abuse are complex and multifaceted, requiring ongoing public dialogue, legal scrutiny, and greater access to supportive resources. In conclusion, Kate Upton's cryptic social media post has sparked a great deal of concern and conversation, with fans and followers eager for more information. Whether a real-life incident or a hypothetical situation, the scenario raises important questions about addiction, parental responsibility, and child safety. For now, Upton remains silent and her followers continue to speculate, hoping for more clarity on the situation.